Hello, folks. So, this is my first long form for a while. I've been doing shorts while I've been away. So, I guess I wanted to have a little rundown of what it was like travelling with liver cirrhosis, being on holiday. So, first things first, I obviously needed to make sure I had enough medication while I was away. I'm on 6 different medications at the moment, so I had to make sure I had all of those. And then I needed to make sure that I had packed everything that I need, so making sure I had my cane, and a few other bits that aren't quite so glamorous, like liners in case the incontinence hit me. So yeah, it's not a glamorous disease. Tell me, is there a glamorous disease? This one certainly isn't. So I had all that, and then making sure that there were places that I could buy foods that wasn't too salty. I did have some stuff that was probably not the best for me in terms of salt, but using the Google AI coach in Health Premium, along with the Fitbit tracker, really helped. So I was able to balance out when I did have one of those meals with different fruits and bits and pieces. It got me on the coconut water, and also told me Volvic, a touch of fruit, has some potassium, magnesium in it, so that also balances the salt a little bit. It kept an eye on what I was doing, so it was a very hilly resort. It's about 4 acres, so it's pretty big, but there is a land train that takes people around, and there's also a mobility assistance van. There's actually 3 of them running all day, and you can book those within about half an hour, and they'll pop along and collect you and take you anywhere you want to go. And they were really good, like we said, yeah, we're going to do this, and then we're popping down to there, and they were like, oh, well, we'll either wait for you if it was a quick thing, or we'll come back and get you. No issues at all with that. So very very pleased that the resort is that friendly. And I saw afterwards, actually, they're part of the sunflower lanyard scheme. So it's for people with hidden disabilities. You can wear the sunflower lanyard, and the staff all know that you may have something that isn't obvious but means you need a bit of extra support. So there was that. I had to make sure I had enough water. It got up to like 37, 38, I want to say 39 one day, degrees, which is really hot. Thankfully, for the most part, we were under tree cover, but not all the time. So we played adventure golf one day, and I've got to be honest, I was more worried on the adventure golf about actually getting round without falling over than I was enjoying the adventure golf. I had to sit down and take a breather a couple of times, top up on the water. That was quite a tough one. The other tough one, so on our first day, the guy who drove us up in the mobility van said, don't try and walk up that hill there. And the following day I left my wallet in the room and had to go back for it, and we accidentally ended up walking up that hill. But those were probably about the only 2 times, and also probably both my fault. So pushing myself a little bit too far. Not doing the sensible thing and taking a bit more time, or rebooking activities. But other than that, they had what they call a subtropical swimming paradise, which is like, it's got a wave machine that leads into a lazy river. There are a few slides. There are rides that would rival Alton Towers. Scared the bejesus out of me, I've got to be honest. So poor Alex, my son, he only got one go on that because it was a two-person ride. And then there was like a pool that you could go through that took you outside, and outside then there was a whirlpool which was really hot, and then just an outdoor pool which I went and relaxed in, and at the top of that was the rapids. So I did that once and I found it quite hard work, but Alex loved it, so he went off and did that and then came back, and he knew where to find me because I was at the side of the pool pretending to be a turtle looking up at the sun and just basically having a nice time warming myself and just catching a few rays. And simple pleasures in life, right, folks? Not to go amiss. So I've been using the Google Fit, and I've got the Google Pixel Watch as well for a belt and braces approach. And I'm still in the premium free trial period. So it's been quite an eye-opener. So even when I do very little exercise in a day, as long as I'm doing some, even if that's just like pottering about the house and up the garden and around and just trying to be a little bit more active, not the sort of activity you would normally associate with training for weight loss, but even when I'm doing that, there is a correlation between that and my weight loss. And also, there's a correlation between my sleep quality and my weight loss. So both of those things are impacting on keeping the weight down. And of course, the weight is the first indicator for me that I'm starting to retain fluid. So last time I went into hospital, I reckoned I think it was like about 25 litres of excess fluid in me. I'd put on 25 kilos in like about 2 weeks. And at the moment, my ankles are probably at I'll say thinnest. I don't mean like in a ill-looking way. I mean in a good-looking way, that they've been since I was diagnosed with this condition in August last year. So I'm okay with that. I also got sorry about the change in colour. That's my computer screen going on and off. I also got a test result, like a late one that came through from my last stay in hospital, and the ultrasound seems to say that, it did say that my liver cirrhosis is from fatty liver, whereas before they'd assumed it was from alcohol. So I need to get to the bottom of that. I should be in 2 or 3 weeks to the hospital to see the specialist. So I will ask them about that and see if we can get to the bottom of it. I don't think it actually matters, because the treatment is the same, the outcome is the same. Just nice to know, right? So yeah, I'm getting on very well with using the data to help me manage my condition, and I can put in tell me how much salt I've eaten in the last sort of 24 hours, and it will give me a rundown of everything I've eaten and what the salt content was. I can ask it for protein, carbs, everything, fibre, especially important, and it will if then I say, right, so I've probably had a little bit too much sodium, what can I eat? Here's some stuff that I've got in my fridge. What can I eat that will offset the sodium? It will tell me which ones contain potassium and magnesium, or whatever else I need to reduce the sodium. So instead of me going like and Googling 24/7 and looking at various, sources, it checks dozens of sources. It checks reputable sources, British Liver Foundation, British Liver Trust, one or the other. But like the one that the NHS points to in the UK. So yeah, it checks all the sources that it can, including the NHS, and comes back with, like where it got its source for the advice that it's giving. It's not advice; it's just laying out, what it found. So yeah, I am finding that really good. I was pleased to see as I went round on my walk today, there's a couple of places where you can pick blackberries, blackcurrants. I get them confused. I think the reason I get them confused is because we have blueberries, which look like currants, and then we have raspberries, which look like the thing that I'm talking about, just a different colour. So I'm not talking about the thing that we make Ribena out of. I'm talking about the stuff that you put in an apple pie. So they'll be growing in the next 3 to 4 weeks, I would imagine. Probably ready in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So I will be picking some of those above dog wee height naturally. And yeah, I might even make a pie with them, but that's it depends how many make it home. They are nice to sort of like to pick, and just pop a few in your mouth as you go. And there's one which is, so we have a motorway that cuts through, probably about a 10-minute walk up the road, and I don't know if it's like the fumes that the cars give off or whatever, but the ones on the bush right there are actually really, really sweet, whereas the ones that are further up the road and well away from the motorway are quite tart. So a good mixture of both is quite nice for a pie. So I'll be doing that. The travel days I found a slog. I've got to be honest. So I had to get up to London, then get a tube across London, then get a train down, then get another train, and then get a cab. So while the train said like 3.5 hours in the app, it actually took us all day. It was like 9:30 until 5 o'clock. And it wasn't too dissimilar coming home as well. So that was quite a slog. But anyway, we made it. I managed to manage my condition fairly well, using what I know, using advice from the Google AI health coach. Sorry if that pause shows up. I thought my ex-wife was home, so I just went to have a look, and she's not. It's the magpies playing around on the conservatory roof. I was able to do it. There's also something else about having the confidence to do it, and I think that going away in the UK gave me a bit more confidence, because it's not like trying to negotiate in foreign shores and get into a hospital and worry about insurance and all that. It's just pick up the phone and dial 999 if I needed it. Obviously, I didn't want to have to do that with my son present, but that's where we are, right? It went okay, so I feel like I've got the confidence now to manage the condition while I'm away, and it's also great for our other channel. So I run a travel YouTube channel as well, called Tooth Talks Travel. So me and my son did loads of filming while we were there, which, you know, gives us a little bit of something to do while we're just pottering about, not doing much, to be perfectly honest with you. You know, we did go swimming practically every day, and he had some activities booked. But other than that, we were just enjoying the nature and exploring the site. So yeah, it was nice to. It's always nice to have an ulterior motive for being away, and I think we've got a good few videos to go up on that site as a result of it. And I do try and keep them differently, so I might mention the fact that I've got liver cirrhosis over there, but I don't go into it because that's not the channel for it. It's just to explain to people why I might be doing a certain thing or not. And likewise, we don't give holiday reviews on this site. You know, people come here for a different reason, and I don't want to bore the audience any more than you might already be bored. I just want to try and help folks to understand that actually, you know, this is possible. You know, given the right circumstances, and you might want to talk to your medical team, because I can't give you medical advice. I'm just some bloke on the internet. But I've managed to get away and have a break for a week with my son. You might be able to do the same. And for me, it's about trying to work out how I have a life after diagnosis. It's been since I was diagnosed, like I said, in August last year, so we're coming up for a year. It's been a bit of a bad year, you know. I've been hospitalised 4 times, but I think that's as much about me learning what the triggers are for the condition. And it's not a straightforward condition, you know. Everyone reacts differently to different bits and pieces, which again is why it's so important that you go and speak to your own medical team, because they'll have all the data on you. Anyway, let's cut it there for today, folks, on this one. And be nice, be kind. You never know what folks are going through. Until the next one, laters potatoes, off you pop.